So this paper, first of all, I'd like to thank my co-authors, Fiona Brocklehurst, Elizabeth Morgan and Gavin Killip, for their contributions to this paper, and also the UK Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, who funded the initial research on which it is based. What were we doing? Well, BEIS were interested in trying to figure out whether they could learn from anybody else, how they could improve the situation in the UK. So our basic research question was, what are the factors leading to successful retrofit supply chains outside the UK? And can we replicate those things in the UK market? We used a combination of an REA style literature review and expert stakeholder interviews to explore this question. And I just want to focus on some of our key findings. And I've picked 4 of the key themes from our findings to talk about today. The first one is that there isn't anywhere, there is no country that has yet achieved successful retrofit at scale. So initially, one of our research questions from government was, tell us which countries have done this right. And our basic answer was nowhere. There are, of course, lots of niches of interesting and successful practice across a wide range of countries. The thing is, none of them are yet delivering retrofit at anything like the scale we need to meet our climate and our well-being imperatives. Our second key theme that I find interesting is that the retrofit supply chains we have are not serving their customers well, primarily because they're too fragmented to do this. It's very difficult for people to know what's best for their home and their life. It's very difficult for people to manage the process of getting all the different strands of work done that they want to do. It's very difficult for people to know whether the work is of a quality that they're looking for, whether they've actually got what they were promised. I keep using the word difficult, and I think that's important. Customers find it difficult. Now, we did find some industry initiatives, things like Better Home in Denmark, Energiesprong in the Netherlands and elsewhere, and some of the cooperative approaches that you see in places like France and in other countries that are very explicitly trying to tackle this and trying to make this a positive journey for the customer to a deep retrofit of their home. My third key theme for this afternoon is that market development is very heavily contingent on the policy and contextual factors around. So it can be quite tricky to move from one country to another in terms of learnings. I think a very consistent theme across a lot of countries, which you've heard from other people this afternoon, is that the start, stop way that policies tend to work just frankly kills the market. It doesn't help at all. Something that's certainly very pertinent in the UK is that if you have a housing market that doesn't value energy performance, that really doesn't help either. There are lots of other things I could talk about in terms of policy and contextual factors, but those 2 just illustrate what I mean. My fourth key theme that I want to highlight is the need for financial support for the supply chain, because this is, as far as supply chains are concerned, this is an immature market. And when I have conversations with policymakers, they tend to have a frame of mind, which is, as long as we stimulate demand, supply will come. And they don't seem to recognize that the firms in this sector are busy enough with their regular work. Moving into retrofit is seen as risky. So if you've got enough work already and somebody says, here's a risky thing you might want to do, you will probably avoid it. Training costs money, but training also costs time, and time that could otherwise be used to earn money. Bidding for work costs money, and if you don't know that you've got a good chance of success, it's not attractive enough. Building relationships with new suppliers, building relationships with other trades, the things that need to be done to get this market going also take time and money. So just to summarize, to finish with our key messages for policymakers, we had quite a lot of them. I've just picked 2. The first one is that the fact that firms choose to avoid getting involved in retrofit, the fact that they're reluctant, really shouldn't come as a big surprise. We, the industry, have been saying it for some time. Respected impartial commentators, including the academic community, people like the Climate Change Committee, have said it. And I think there's something for us to reflect on as a community, which is, why has this not landed? with the policy community? How can we be more persuasive with that message? And then the second and last thing I want to say is something that others have already said. Consistent and long-term policy support is vital. I've talked about reducing costs of entering the market, reducing risks of entering the market, but I think it's also worth stressing that to get this to work, it is really quite a significant culture change within the supply chains to deliver an integrated, customer-friendly retrofit business model. And that is going to take time. There is no quick fix, and policymakers need to recognise that. So the 3 years of partial support that's been set out in the heat and building strategy yesterday is yeah, great, but it really is only a start. Thank you.